Hello everybody and welcome back. Okay, in this lesson, we're going to introduce you to the floor tool. Okay, um, the floor tool is used to create basically any platform that can be used as a intentionally designed and constructed trafficable surface. Okay, so the way I look at a trafficable surface, it can be used by any person or anything, including vehicles, etc., to provide a stable um, surface that's not the natural ground. Okay. Um, Now, in addition to that, due to the default floor types in this template, we're going to do a quick refresher of adjusting levels as well. Okay, so that's based off the previous lesson. Um, and also, just please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this channel so I can keep helping building design students and professionals. Really helps me. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go into my elevation and we're going to do an adjustment here of the levels. And I'm going to show you a different way of doing it. Okay, so I'm just going to chuck up some text on the board. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do text later on. Okay. And let's try and get this so it's nice and big. There we go. So just a little bit of mathematics. Okay, really, really simple. Okay, the floor type um, that I want to use, it has a depth of 150 millimeters. Okay, that's what we're going to use. Okay, our ground floor is currently is currently 800 millimeters um, above the natural ground. Okay, so the super quick calculation is I want to move the ground floor and the ceiling at the same time. Okay, so we're going to use the move command. Okay, so the calculation is how far do I need to move them? 800 millimeters for where we are, minus the 150 millimeter depth that we're going to. Okay, and if my brain's working correctly today, that should give us a movement of 500 and no 650 millimeters. Okay, always going right. Get your calculator out. Okay, 800 minus 150, 650. There we go. My brain worked. Okay, so we're going to move these two lines here down 650 millimeters. That's why I did this just very, very simple calculation. Okay, so to do that, okay, I'm going to select this line first. Then what I'm going to do, this is a new trick, okay, I'm holding the control key down, and if you watch what happens to the cursor when I do that, okay, you'll see a little plus, okay, so the cursor changes shape a little bit, and a little plus appears next to it, okay, that is the control key doing that, and what that means is that I can add to my selection without letting go of this one here. So this one's selected. If I go control select, I now have both of those levels selected. Okay, so we have in here a move command. Okay, so if you go into modify, the little arrows here, that is your move command. So left click on that. And this, it doesn't matter where you click this because you already know what the movement number is, how far you're going to go. So I'm going to click, but I will click here. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to click on the ground floor, and when I click on that, it is going to select both the ground floor and that ceiling level, and you can see that light blue dashed line around it indicating what my selection is. So left click to start my move command. Okay, and you'll see down here in the bottom left hand corner it says click to enter move endpoint. Okay, so that just basically Revit just wants to know where do we finish. So I'm going to tell Revit I'm going to move it down and move everything down. Okay, so I'm dragging my cursor down. Rather than using my left thing, I'm going to type in a number here. So I'm going to type in the 650 millimeters, 650. Okay, that is the distance that I want that to move. And I'm going to hit the enter button. Okay, and the command is finished. Okay, we now see that the ground floor is 150 millimeters above natural ground, and the ceiling is still 2400 millimeters above the ground floor. That's exactly what we want. Okay, right, now to actually do the floor itself, we're going to go to the ground floor plan in the floor plans here. So we're going to go to this view here. So double click on that. Okay, use your middle mouse button to zoom in, just scroll in, nice and easy. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to build a floor within this envelope here. Remember, we use these reference planes to highlight where we want to go. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So architecture. We go to the floor command here. And if we click on the down arrow, you'll see that there's actually quite a few options for us. We're just going to do something really simple and use the floor architectural tool. Okay, it's just going to let us draw an architectural tool with purely for visual appearance. Okay, so I'm just going to left click that, go into your properties, and if you're using my template, you will see a generic 150 millimeter family. That's the one we want. Okay, so I'm just going to click on that and make sure that that is my selected tool. And if we look in our properties here, it gives us some dimensions, and it says here thickness 150. That's a confirmation of what we want. Okay, the drawing is very simple. It is almost identical to what we used for the TopoSolid project. Okay, we have a whole bunch of drawing tools, and I have here a rectangle tool. Okay, so this is going to be nice and easy. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, left click, okay, enter the starting point of my rectangle in the bottom left hand corner. So I'm going to start at the top left hand corner here, and then as I'm drawing, you see it gives me the outline, so I know what it is I'm drawing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap, bring my cursor down so it snaps to this intersection. Okay, so it's where those two lines intersect each other. And I'm just going to go left click, excuse me, and hit the escape key twice. Okay, so these magenta lines here show us where the sketch is. So this is the 2D sketch. And then I'm going to come up here to the finish edit mode. And if I've drawn this correctly, it will do this. Okay, so the dark blue means that this 150 millimeter floor has been created and it's highlighted. And if I go into my elevations, okay, and if I zoom in a little bit, I can see my floor there. Okay, and again, and again, and again. Okay, so that is it. The floor and the topo solid commands work basically the same. And in fact, technically you could use the floor for a topo solid and vice versa, but it's not recommended when you are doing fancy stuff like scheduling, okay, because it will counter topo solid. We don't want a topo solid to be read as um, we don't want it to be read as a floor and vice versa, okay. So that concludes this lesson. It's a very simple one. Hopefully there's a couple of new tricks in there for you, and we will see you later for the next lesson.